Hello, and welcome back to this series of videos on writing for ESOL Level 1. So now we're going to think about grammar, and this part is mostly related to different tenses and using them with accuracy. I say this because what I often see is people trying too hard to throw them all in, and then it doesn't make sense. We're going to divide this section up into two separate videos so it doesn't become too much all in one go. And first of all, we're going to consider one of the marking standards in many writing tests offered in the UK at Level 1. Here are some examples. First of all, here is the Trinity, then the Gateway, then Ascentis, and finally ESB UK. And all of them refer to the same thing, the correct use of grammar with subject-verb agreement. And some of them also refer to the correct use of past, present, and future tenses. One or two of them also have an unusual reference to Level 1 appropriate grammar. What's that? Well, we're going to find out. And the important thing to remember in your writing is you've got to show what you know. Level 1 grammar expects more of you than just past simple because, hey, in theory, you've learnt a lot this year, right? Right. So let's think a little bit about the different verb forms you might know and how you can try using them in your writing. I'll try to model a few examples as I go along. Well, first, here we are in the present. You've got present tenses. We use the present simple a lot to explain our habits and actions or things that are true. If you're writing about yourself, use the present simple to start with. I'm a reliable person and I always enjoy visiting new places and... You're also very likely to be using present continuous in any kind of letter, introducing yourself or explaining your reason for writing. Here's the example. I'm writing to inquire about the position you recently advertised. Or, I'm writing to complain about my recent experience with your company. By the way, please get the spelling right for the word writing. It's easy to miss. Also by now, you should be able to use the present perfect to explain your experience or your interests. Here's some examples. I've read a number of books this year. I've worked for a variety of different companies. I've always been interested in working with people. Further on from this, you can add in present perfect continuous if you are explaining anything about your recent work or study experience. And here are the examples. I've been studying IT and computing for 5 years. I've been working in catering and hospitality for some time. I've been living here for about however many years. This is an excellent one to use on a formal letter of application. Now don't forget, verbs need to agree with their subject. So if you're writing I, then it's usually no problem. However, I've seen lots of mistakes around using he, she, it, and also when using things like people, children, everyone, someone, no one, both and neither. So how should they agree? Remember, if it's he, she, it, everyone, someone, no one, it's singular. For example, has, does, likes. If it's plural, children, then they have, do, like. So don't get your singulars and your plurals mixed up. Next section, we're going back in time to the past. So what past tenses do you know? You should have an idea about past simple and past perfect, which you'll need for any kind of account. For example, I recently went. Last year I visited. I had been there before, but I'd never actually seen, I don't know, Bath. Niagara Falls, London. If you're writing an account, you'll probably need to use past simple the most. Don't try to overdo it with more complicated tenses unless you really need them. Now remember, past perfect is ideal for storytelling, and we often call it the past in the past. For this, you need two actions, one after the other. Here's an example. I had seen him earlier in the week, but I missed him on Friday. Or, I'd never realised how much I needed exercise until I started trying. Or, I'd never read any of those books before, so I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. However, using this tense is less common, so just a reminder, don't throw it in too much. You'll also be able to handle past continuous and possibly past perfect continuous if your storytelling is going to be next level. Here's an example. I was travelling to Manchester by train when I realised that I had left my bag on. I had been hoping to see some examples of modern art in the museum, but unfortunately there wasn't much. Just a warning, don't get carried away. One or two of these could be enough in a story. Now let's head for the future. Future tenses are going to be useful for making a promise, a plan, or suggestion. For example, I will, I'm organising, I'm going to. Easy ways to fit these into informal communications. Here's some examples. I hope you can come. I'll be there about 7 p.m. I'm organising an informal study group. What do you think? I'm going to arrive tomorrow. I'm going to give everyone a call at the weekend. Or, informal communication. I will be pleased to attend any future interviews. I will happily commit to any additional training requirements. Well, those were just a few examples. And now we have looked at a range of tenses that include past, present, and future verb forms. So these are the basic ones that you should really already know. In the next video, we will add in some more complex uses of modal verbs and the passive. So now, what should you do? Go and start practicing with your verbs, I think. See you soon.